So taking a nice easy pose, close your eyes and come inside. Just observe your breath. Just taking note of how you feel today. How is the energy flowing? Without judging. It's just an observation. Is the breath free and easy, or do you feel tension somewhere? These are all things that we can become aware of and then take actions. Just being aware of how it feels to breathe. It's a huge step in knowing how we're doing. The breath is the fastest way to change the emotions. So let's take just a few more breaths here. Again, just observing. And then opening your eyes, and you can take the soles of your feet together into what's a butterfly pose in yin yoga. It's also called Baddha Konasana. And we're going to do something called the turtle. And this is a nice stretch for the neck. Just taking the chin to the chest, rolling down the spine, and then coming up like your turtle head coming out of his shell. These nice, gentle, flowing movements. Imagining that your neck or your cervical spine is like a wave. It's moving like a wave. Nice, flowing, careful movements. And again, doing this that it feels good in your body. Only you are in your body. So please follow what feels good for you. So I'm exhaling as the chin comes down and inhaling as it comes up. And you'll see in Taoist and Qigong, all the movements mirror something in nature. So this, we're mirroring a turtle. It's going to have this imagery. Let's do one more. Creating circles with the chin. And then relaxing this as we're going to come to some acupressure points. So if you look at the soles of your feet, like I pointed out before, we have this point right underneath the ball of the foot, right in the middle, and this is kidney 1. This is the first kidney point. Even though the kidneys, the acupuncture point actually starts in the toe, but this is the first main point. So we can massage this point to bring a bit more energy into the kidney center. Just imagining, again, this imagery is also very important in Taoist and in Qigong. Just imagining that this water element, so in everything the water flows, the qi flows. It's all about movement, so that we don't, when we have problems, we don't let them stagnate in our body and stagnate in our energetic body. They move, they keep on going. So we don't identify with these problems. They come and they go. We're able to digest, they come in and they leave. Nothing is that important. So as we finish massaging this kidney point, we're going to come to the shins. And there's a shin bone here, and on the inside of the shin bone is a nice meridian here for the liver. And so we're just going to go and thumb walk all the way up this meridian, and some places might be a bit painful, and that's totally okay. We're just going to spend maybe a bit of extra time there. We're going to do all 3 meridians on this side, the liver, the spleen, and the kidneys. And just coming all the way up to the knee. After they come through the knee, all the meridians go all over the place. So we're just going to take then the arm to the upper leg to massage the meridians there. And so let's come one more time down as we come then across from the ankle. And then let's come up this meridian. This nice thumb walk all the way up. I'm getting some here, the spleen. And the kidney meridian is right next to it. So let's just take the whole thumb and just press into these centers, massaging up and down the leg. And actually, I'm just going to take the whole hand and massage this because it's a nice way to gather some energy and get the chi flowing in the lower legs. And then let's take the forearm and just pressing down on the thigh on the yin side. So the yin side is the inside here. And again, we have the spleen, we have the liver, and we have the kidney meridians that run through here. All sending energy to the body in a multitude of different ways through the fascia, through the electricity in the body. Let's come off to the other side, because that's what we have to understand, is that our body is really electricity. And so that's why it's so important, for many reasons, to drink water, but this is how the fascia can send the messages to the other organs when it's nice and hydrated. And so while we're doing this, we're hydrating the fascia so that it can function properly and send these messages to the other organs and muscles that it needs. I'm going to take it off to both sides. I'm just feeling that nice pressure. Great. So now let's come to something that's called dragon stretches his tail. You can either maintain this soul to soul posture, or you can come into easy pose. I'm going to come into a nice easy pose. You can sit up on something too. And so just look at the palms of your hands like you're like, wow, my hands are so great. And then you're going to move away, pressing out the palm of the hand as you turn and look over the other shoulder. And then let's come back to center. This is a nice flow. So we're going to do a real gentle neck stretch here. Never coming all the way to the end. It's a constant flow. Looking at the hands and then looking away. Never coming to 100% of the stretch. Here we're allowing space. Allowing space for the energy to move in that 20% that you're not stretching. And again, take it with your own breath. I like to exhale as I twist, this small like neck twist, and inhale as the hands come towards center. But you can experiment a bit and see which one you like best. But it's nice to have some kind of rhythm just to keep your focus, because the breath is an anchor. And it keeps us from thinking about extraneous thoughts during the practice, because we don't need any of those extraneous thoughts, because this is a chance for us to get back into the body and connect the body to the mind. So let's come back to the center as we come to the other side. Looking at the hands. Hello, beautiful hands. Let's go off to the other side. Looking over the other shoulder. Coming towards the middle, and then pushing away. Feeling also the stretch in the extended arm. This is a really nice stretch for the heart meridian, the lung meridian, and the pericardium meridian. Pericardium is the protective sac around the heart that protects us from heartbreak. Really, this is an actual thing. I mean, in Chinese medicine, but there actually is a pericardium, but I think Western medicine has a different view of it. It actually cools the heart. It's a sac around the heart that cools it. And in Chinese medicine, it's to protect us from heartbreak. It's so romantic. Okay, so let's do one more. And hold the stretch a bit, just nice and easy. And then release it, coming towards the center. Let's do a shoulder opening sequence. Just take your fingers to your shoulders, and we're just going to move in circles. The elbows are just going to paint circles around us on either side, just lubricating here the shoulder joints. Nice, easy movements. Feeling good in the body. And perhaps if you feel a bit funny somewhere, just take a bit more time there. You can go back and forth. You can also go in the other direction. There's always sequence of Qigong exercises that are called silk reeling that are really just to mobilize the joints. And so this is one of them. We're mobilizing here the shoulder joint, just lubricating it with the synovial fluid, because if the joints don't move, then they don't get lubricated. So that's the whole thought process in any of these silk reeling exercises, is to fill the joint with synovial fluid. Good, so let's release that and come out to a wide-legged pose. Again, you can lift your hips up onto something if it's more comfortable. And let's just stretch forward, releasing the head down as far as it can go. Taking a breath here. Releasing the low back. You can also support your head in your hands. And here I'm just looking to stretch a bit in the inner thigh before we start. And release the feet. And then taking the hands out, we're going to do something that's called seaweed in the ocean. And so just imagining that you're in the ocean and you're a piece of seaweed growing from the seabed. We're going to move in a diagonal motion with the hands and the arms, stretching out the whole side of the body, really gentle. So we're not in a big storm in the ocean. It's a nice wave that comes and goes, and we're allowing this wave to move the upper body. So we're giving way to the chi, which would be the wave, allowing it to move the body so we're not rigid, we're moving with the chi. And then every time we're coming just a bit more up to the side, stretching a bit more over the leg, on the side of the body. And as a general rule, we're always inhaling as we extend and exhaling as we come forward. And so now as we come to the maximum movement, let's take the hand over the head. So I'm stretching out the side of the body. You can either, if you're flexible, you can take your other hand to your toe or to your foot or whatever, or inside of the body. I'm taking a few breaths here. You can also take this upper arm and then move it to your back, looking up or looking down. You can support your head here. I would support the side of the head because we're more into a side stretch here. And then just breathing into this diagonal in the back. And closing your eyes, letting the tailbone sink to the floor. On your next inhale, let's come back up to the middle. You can stretch up just from side to side, like picking cherries. Releasing here, the one side, and then let's come off to the other side. Again, just taking your arms where it's comfortable for you. If this is a great pose, then leave it. I like my arm behind my back. I like to interlace it on my thigh. And then the other arm is just hanging out in front of the thigh. And then I like to support my head. But these are all optional. And please experiment and find out what's good for you, because nothing is written in stone. Everybody's body is a bit different and everything just feels a bit different. So I want to teach you to learn how to fly your plane. And you're the only one in the plane, so you know how to do that much better than I ever will. So let's come back up to the middle, again, reaching up. Just extending the spine, the sides, and the ribs, and then coming back down. Let's take the legs into this nice like fan pose here, or figure 4. And again, making sure the hip bones are on the floor, or you're sitting up on something. Let's take some twists. So I'm going to take, this is my top leg, and I'm going to take the same hand and I'm going to lean back on it as I take the forward hand and I'm twisting. And here again, just like in all the other poses, we're never going to 100%. We're going to maybe about 80%. We're allowing that 20% to have the chi flow. And so this hip here is moving off of the earth when I twist. I'm inhaling, coming through the center, and exhaling with the twist. Here I am directing the energy, and it's coming from my hip and I diagonal all the way through my low back, shoulder to the fingertips. Just having this mental image, directing the energy, having a focus and intention where you want this energy to go. And then taking this once you leave the mat. Where the attention goes, the energy flows. We've all heard this before, and it just doesn't work just on the mat. It works also in everyday life. So we're taking the intention that this energy is flowing through the body. We're not allowing anything to get stagnant. Bad energy comes and flows through us. We don't trap it. And let's take one more. Off to the side, twisting. Let's hold the pose. And here you can take your head, if it's comfortable, looking over the back shoulder, stretching from the hip, extending the spine, releasing any unnecessary tension. And let's come back to the middle as we come off to the other side. I'm taking the front leg here, and the other arm comes back. I'm leaning on my arm, and let's go for the twist on the other side. Just nice flowing twist, moving the energy all the way from the hip out through the fingers. Breathing in, coming through center, exhaling out. Flowing, allowing the energy to flow. As soon as we understand this concept, I'm not saying it's easy to do, and this requires practice every day. When I think about, I've been practicing yoga for over 20 years, but I still have meltdowns. I mean, this is just a constant reminder every day. And the only thing that we can probably hope for is that at some point the recovery period is less. That you can somehow, at some point, come into the moment and say, what am I doing? And then be able to recover faster. And I can say that is the truth. I probably have less meltdowns, and I think my recovery time is a lot faster than it was before. So let's take one more. Twisting, and then looking over the back shoulder if that's good for your neck. Breathing, releasing any tension that you don't need. And then coming back to center. Let's do our two last movements. This one is twisting like a snake. Coming into staff pose. And again, the spine is long. The head is reaching towards the ceiling. I'm going to take the palms of the hands forward, and then we're just going to move from side to side doing push-ups. And here, engaging the core. Yeah, this is really going to help the movement if we have just a bit of engagement. And that doesn't mean making the core totally rigid. It's just a bit of a tension that we're using the core to support the spine and not just laying into the bones. The muscles here are to support. And when we put load on the spine, which we're doing in this movement, we want to stiffen the muscles around it. That's just a basic law of physics so that we don't hurt the back. We're supporting. Just going nice and slowly from each side, rolling over the sit bones and coming off to the other side. Let's do one more to each side. And then coming back to the middle. Let's finish this practice with turning the wheel. Now we're taking the energy all the way from the soles of the feet, up the spine, up through the crown of the head. Imagining this energy wheel coming forward with the hands bringing the energy up through the soles of the feet, through the legs, the hips, torso, all the way up and back down again. Cycling the energy all the way around the body in this energy wheel. It's called turning the wheel. And so our attention and intention in this pose is circulating that good energy. The chi is moving, nothing is stagnant. Breathing in as we reach up, exhaling, reaching forward. Inhaling, open to the universe, exhaling, exploring to release anything that we don't need. And again, this should be with your own breath, so if you'd like to take it slower or a bit faster, this is up to you. Let's take one more. Reaching all the way up and tumbling over. And then coming back. And here you can go into a shavasana, which I think would be really yummy, just to lay here just for a few minutes to integrate this energy. So we can lay here, or I can also suggest that you can lay in child's pose. Their forehead, the knees wide. Just paying attention to the back, breathing. Child's pose is a great regenerator, so that's also a great choice for the end of the practice. And then afterwards, you can also end in a nice meditation. And I hope you've enjoyed the practice, and I hope you have the very best day.